Oh, hey everybody! Welcome to Vaginal Fantasy. What is Vaginal Fantasy, you may ask? Good question, let me answer you. It is a romance book club where me and my fellow hosts, who are amazing, and I'll introduce you in a second, we discuss a romance slash female-centric book every month and drink and do other things. And, we're focused. Not really. Anyway, and my wonderful co-hosts are Bonnie Burton.
Hello.
Hello, Bonnie.
Hi. I'm just glad I'm not in the East Coast, so that's all I got.
I know. There's some snow over there, huh?
Yeah. So coming from San Francisco, one of the co-hosts from San Francisco, me.
And our next co-host from San Francisco is Veronica Belmont.
Hello. It's been 2 months and you don't remember my last name. I see how it is.
I don't know. I lost my mind. I just love your glasses lipstick combinations.
Oh, thank you. Red on red. It's how I roll.
It's really
that sounds
pretty.
pervy and I don't know why.
Sounds vaginal fantasies. And then we have a new addition to our hangout.
Oh.
Kylie Kazebee.
The face he's making right now. He's like, what did you pull me into, Mom? What is this?
Oh my god.
And he's like, did somebody say vagina? I know what that's like.
This is Shepard, and he's named after Commander Shepard of, Mass Effect.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's also, we call him Concernicus because he looks like that. He's very concerned about things. So, anyways, he won't be on during the whole time because he's got a very low tolerance.
Oh my God! Look at his face. He looks like how most of our viewers that tune in thinking this is a porn show and then find out it's a romance book club.
Looks like he's solving like global warming or something.
I know. He's got a lot on his mind.
He looks like a little Winston Churchill.
That's what I said. Okay.
He's so cute. I have to get one of those. I have to get a tiny human shirt made for him.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I'm gonna hand him. I'm just gonna throw him over here.
One of us tweet that this is live right now.
Well, I can't believe that you just had a baby 2 months ago, Kyla. You have mermaid hair and you look beautiful as you usually.
Thank you. Well, when you have a baby, you immediately lose like 30 pounds, so that was very helpful.
How does that work?
It's all like water and fluids and gross
and
stuff.
human flesh.
And a human.
And a small human baby.
I would be like, get out, get out, get out.
That's how it was, but also I was on drugs, so I was like, I can't feel anything. Am I even doing anything? I don't even know. And then they were like, here's a baby. And I was like, what?
And you were like, science!
That's something to really thank that we live in a modern world. Like, thank you. Thank you, modern world.
Yeah.
Veronica, how are you doing? How was your break?
It was good. It was busy. I was gone for like the entire month of December and January on shoots and work and stuff. So that was good. But I'm happy to be home for at least another couple weeks. Yay!
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Even over the holidays, did you go to anywhere on vacation?
I did. I went to Hawaii. I feel bad saying that in front of the new mom. I'm sorry, Kyla. I did not. It was a terrible time. It was miserable. We definitely had no fun in Kauai.
It seems like you didn't, and I didn't say anything about me being mad about it.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we have reached that accord.
Bonnie, what about you? Did you do anything over the holiday?
I stayed put, so I had dog holiday. Actually, I kind of like staycation. Because then I get to explore San Francisco. A lot of people are gone, so the museums aren't quite as crowded, and you get to rediscover places you don't normally go. So I'm trying to do this new thing. I don't know. You guys are familiar with Shonda Rhimes, who basically writes Scandal and how to do murder and Grey's Anatomy and all that. She wrote a book called The Year of Yes. Where she spent a year just saying yes to everything. I mean, nothing illegal, but just being more social, hanging out with friends more. So I'm trying to say yes to everything as opposed to, oh, I'm tired, or oh, I don't feel social. So I'm trying to be more social this year, but it's already exhausting.
It is a lot of work because I did the same thing. I took a lot of time off in December, and I re-condoed my house, so I live in a much cleaner house. And then I was like, you're going to go out and do things with people. And I'm like, that's a full-time job being friendly.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, Veronica and I both did Sketchfest, and I'm sorry I missed your performance, Veronica. I was actually paid to go somewhere else during the same time you were performing.
Aww.
But I didn't, like, promote when I was performing because I didn't want anyone to go. Because I'm always nervous about Sketchfest because it's, like, real comedians, and I'm not a good, I don't consider myself of that ilk. I do stand-up once a month, and I don't tell anyone because I don't.
What? I love stand-up. I
Yeah.
would totally come see you.
But I don't want you to come see me because I might be crap, and then you'll be in that weird position as a friend where you have to lie and say,
No, Bonnie, I'm taking a stand-up class, and I went to open mic, like my first one, and like it's so liberating to be bad because there's always one person who's worse than you. That's the great part about it.
Mm-hmm.
that is
There's always
very
one like loony guy who probably is homeless. He's like, there's an open mic. I'm gonna go tell a story. So
I like to pretend Donald Trump's just doing open mic.
That's good. That's a good way of coping.
No one gets it.
Like he's a really bad improv comedian. Like he doesn't realize it's not a giant improv class. Because I used to do that on bad dates. I used to pretend it was just I was in an improv skit. And so, you just kind of go with it and don't think about it.
Well, you have to be careful with date because if you keep saying yes and, then things might go a little too far.
Very true. Very, very true.
Thank you.
Good point. Bravo.
I missed you guys.
I missed you too.
Yeah, I missed you too.
Am I the only one drinking?
I stopped making little
Okay.
puppets. I was going to make little puppets of everyone and just talk to them. But then I watched season 2 of Penny Dreadful, and I realized you really shouldn't make a bunch of puppets of your friends.
Oh,
Look,
I need to watch that.
It's so creepy. And the puppet of her, Eva Green, was not good. Like, I was like, you should hire a better sculptor because you're literally making the most beautiful woman in the world a weird-ass puppet.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, like, I wanted all those puppets. Like, even though I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, just watch season 2 of Penny Dreadful. It's pretty easy to find. It's on DVD and Blu-ray and all that. And it's on Showtime. Showtime Go. You can watch the whole season. But I watched it, and I'm like, okay, I have puppets that look like this in my house staring at me right now, and it gave me a different idea of how puppets can get possessed. And I actually got a screener for Boy, which is so creepy. The Boy, I don't know if you saw the trailer for it, but it's about a nanny that it gets hired to take care of a little boy, but it's not a little boy, it's a ventriloquist doll puppet.
Oh, that's weird.
That's weird.
No, I'm not watching
You know what's
that.
also weird? There's the new Charlie Kaufman movie, Anomalisa. That's the creepiest movie ever, and there's puppets doing it in there. And I'm like, this is the least sexy thing I've ever seen in my life. A puppet, like,
Yeah.
really.
This
There
is
was
what,
puppet sex in
America.
I'm Matt Damon.
oh yeah, Team
Yeah.
America.
Team America.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
Matt
what-
Damon.
I don't recommend puppet sex books for when it's my turn to pick a book. So I will not pick demonic puppet sex books for us to read, I promise.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, let me get into. So we had a break, you guys. We were gone for 10 months. Somebody in our chat, Tom.
10 months. What?
I mean, 2 months. No. Oh, sorry. I was distracted. In chat, there was a guy who was hospitalized for 10 weeks, Tom, and he just came back and he was like, "This is the first one." So welcome, Tom. Hope you're doing better.
Yay.
We were gone for 2 months, and hopefully you guys read a lot of stuff. Make sure to post on the forum what you read because everybody seemed to go underground, which is fine because it's Christmas. There's too much of everything. But we're back, and we have a really fun book this month. I think. I don't know. But I'm gonna give a shout out to all of our local meetups that are meeting this month because that is one cool part of this group. We have groups around the world who meet up and read books. The one book we pick every month, as well as books of their own choice. So here is a shout out. On January 3rd, the Cloudy with a. Okay, it's a new group, guys, and it is a graphic name. Sorry if you're watching
Oh, it's
children's
not that graphic. It's not that graphic.
It's scientific, right? It's anatomical.
yeah, it's
Anyway.
not that graphic.
Yeah, just think of it like you're a doctor.
Exactly. Okay, so Cloudy with a Chance of Clitlet
And they had the best logo of all time. They posted
they
that one
do.
on Twitter, and they have the best, like, their little banner is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Bonnie, maybe you could retweet it after this so people can see it on the Vaginal Fantasy Twitter.
I tweeted it earlier this week, but I'll retweet it again as you're talking.
Okay, the Vaginistas met in a Google Plus hangout earlier this month. The Viking Booties in Sweden had a Google Plus hangout too. The Wanton Wisconsinites met in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Ambassadors of Smut also met in November and December and in January in Laguna Beach. Gotham Quills and Quims in New York City. Denver Dames in Westminster, Colorado. Beers, Books and Boobs in East Lansing, Michigan. The Bay Area Belles in San Francisco, and the Southwest Ohio, Cincinnati, Dayton, Vaginal Fantasy meetup. The Dingle, they were at the Dingle House Authority. I thought that was their name. You guys need a shorter name, guys. Ohio. The Metro Detroit Vaginal Fantasy local meetup. Again, you guys need a better name. The Long and Shots of It. All right, in Addison, Texas. That's a pretty good one. Cloudy with a Chance of Clit also met again. God, I can't even say it. Somebody else has to read them out loud next week. Anyway, Only Lovers Left in the Library met in November, and a couple of other people as well. San Francisco Safe Word. So if you are in the world, there probably is a local group. So just go to the local group part of our goodweeds.com/vaginalfantasy if you want to join or create a group.
So we have two San Francisco groups.
I was going to say, we have the San Francisco Safe Words and then the Bay
Area Belles. Well, maybe Bay Area Belles are more like East Bay, like Bay Area-y.
I don't know. I mean, Goodreads is so hard to, like, communicate with people. Like, it's just not. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody maybe just couldn't fund it. So anyway, you guys get together maybe, or if you're in different areas, just don't. Anyway, that's enough talking. So be sure to post if you have a local hangout in the local hangout of the month, so I can give you a shout out.
You can also post if you have any hang-ups.
I have lots of local hangouts. I feel like that's another thread that maybe we should start.
Your hang-ups? The Portland Piddlers? Whoa, there's some weird suggestions going on, guys. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, our book this month was called Radiance by Grace Draven, and we have read a book before by her. It was The Raven. What was it, guys?
The
Raven Prince. Oh, no, it wasn't The Raven Prince because I wrote
Crows. Prince of Crows.
Prince of Crows. Master of Crows.
Master of Crows.
Oh, that was the one where I remember that.
I liked that one. Hey, did you know that Sword and Laser also read a book called Radiance this month? But it was not the same book.
Tell us about it. Tell us about that one.
Completely different story. It's Catherine Valenti. Has nothing to do with anything we read in this book. So that was just an interesting coincidence. When I got the name of the book we were reading, I was like, oh, that's convenient. I don't have to read a book again. I was like, oh, wait, no. Different book. Fascinating.
Was there any romance in that book?
No. No, not really.
So it wasn't as good. Okay, good. Good to know.
It's like old man's war. There's two of them, and I get them confused.
Yeah. Are there two?
Yeah.
There's Scalzi and who? Is it a sci-fi book?
One is sci-fi, and then I don't remember what the other one is.
Yeah, the Scalzi book's sci-fi, but I don't know about the other one. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, if you want to read straight sci-fi or fantasy, go over to Sword and Laser, Veronica's other book club. But here we're talking about romance. And Bonnie, do you have the cover?
I do.
Oh, good. Here it is, and I'm going to read the description.
It's shiny, but you can.
And Felicia's on the cover. Look at it. Look at it. It's Felicia.
I wish, guys.
It's Felicia.
I wish.
That's totally Felicia.
It's kind of a good cover. Although we should talk about what the guy looks like. Okay, let me read the description and then we'll get into it. The Prince of No Value, Brishan Koscom, Prince of the Kai, has lived content as the non-essential spare heir to a throne secured many times over. A trade and political alliance between the human kingdom of Gwar and the Kai kingdom of Bast Haradis requires that he marry a Gwari bride to seal the treaty. Always a dutiful son, Brishan agrees to the marriage and discovers his bride is as ugly as he expected and more beautiful than he can imagine.
Yeah.
The noblewoman. Now there's more. I'm going to keep going. The noblewoman of no importance, Ildiko, whatever, niece of the Gwari king, has always known her only worth to the royal family lay in strategic marriage. Resigned to her fate, she is horrified to learn that her intended isn't just a foreign aristocrat, but a young prince of a people neither familiar nor human. Bound to her new husband, Idilko will leave behind all she's known to embrace in a man shrouded in darkness, but with a soul forged by light. Two people brought together by the trappings of duty and politics will discover they are destined for each other, even as the powers of a hostile kingdom scheme to tear them apart. And that's it.
Yeah, that's totally you.
I mean,
Look at that.
It's almost like seriously, like I really think they drew you on that cover. Like, I can't figure out how else that could make any sense. Like it's
she has much better hair.
freakishly similar.
I mean, I don't unlike it.
I mean, our lovely viewer that always does these great Photoshop pictures of us every time.
Sean.
Did actually, I think 2 separate people did it because they're like, how easy is this to do? It was like the easiest Photoshop trick is to put you in the cover.
A little bump
They
in the
do,
nose.
but they don't even need to because the nose even looks exactly like your nose. Like that's the weird part. Like you have a very distinct, to me, nose.
I do have a distinctive nose.
Click on Felicia. Click on Bonnie's picture so people.
Okay.
So it's sticking up
Let's
for
look
a
it
second.
up. Look at it. There we go.
You can see it.
Okay.
You see
And
it?
then here's me. Here's me.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's same face. Same
Someone
face.
do a side-by-side comparison photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Internet.
Anyway, let's talk about the book, I guess.
I guess talk about the book. Veronica, do you want to go? Talk about the book. What did you think?
Sure. I was very pleasantly surprised. I think I had gotten that kind of like pre-concern about the book because people on Twitter and the replies and stuff were saying, "Oh, it was too convenient how they just liked each other so much right away, and it was very Mary Sue kind of situation and blah blah blah," which that argument always drives me crazy. But I really liked their dynamic, and I thought it was really cute, and it's just been. I haven't read anything kind of light and fun in a long time, and it was just kind of refreshing and relaxing to have something where the characters like each other and they have a very like good relationship where there's no weird abuse involved in any kind of way, and they respect each other and think the other person is smart and look out for each other, and also eventually, be able to find that physical attraction to one another built on love and mutual respect instead of like an initial like animalistic passion kind of thing. So it was very nice for once. It was a different kind of story than what we typically read, and I thought that was kind of refreshing.
Yeah. Kyla, what did you think?
Well, first of all, we didn't talk about what we were drinking, so I just want to for a second, just because this is the first time I've been able to drink on air in almost a year. So I just wanted to say that there's a lot of vodka in this. But also, while I was pregnant, I read a ton of Tudor novels, so I was so excited to not read that and to be forced to read a book because I've been tied to a small human. So I really liked this book. I liked like I said, I liked the dynamic between them. I liked I liked her sense of humor. The things she kept doing with her eyes, that was hilarious. And I liked that they were clearly had some kind of attraction at the beginning, but they were also repulsed by each other, which I thought was interesting. And then I loved how slowly that built, but you could see it happening, like right away. And then I think that I honestly think that all the machinations, like the stuff going on in the background, was not as exciting as their relationship. But I really liked the book.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get into the story and the characters specifically. Bonnie,
I
agree.
Oh, what am I drinking? I'm drinking free wine. It was free, so I don't. It's this. It's a Syrah. I don't cook, so when I eat at the same restaurant every night, they'll give you free wine as thanks, I guess. So I got free wine. So I'm drinking free wine out of my giant glass. That's as big as my head.
I was about to ask, are you drinking right for the bottle? Free wine for the bottle? Because that sounds like a hobo. So don't be...
I almost bought boxed wine the other day because it's so cheap at Target. Then I was like, I don't know. Like, it's a new year. I should try new things.
I've had the boxed wine at Target. It's actually really good.
Is it? Okay, maybe I'll do that next. I'll do boxed wine and a crazy straw. For
Just drink right out of the box?
Yeah, with like a bunch of ice cubes in it.
Yeah, or do some sort of Rube Goldberg wine thing. Look at my dog. She's looking at me so disapprovingly when I'm saying that.
The chat is just all about what his penis looks like, but we'll get there, guys. Okay, what did you think?
The question of the day.
We'll get there, guys. That's after plot and characters, all right? Let's try to be mature a little bit.
To the sex talk, and it's like we gotta have some foreplay in this show. So honestly, I liked this book because for once the drama wasn't in the characters, like it wasn't in the romance. It was you had a romance, or not even a romance. It was a friendship that was gonna turn into a romance because it was an arranged marriage situation. But you had all the obstacles coming from the outside in, as opposed to will they or won't. You know what I mean? So it was like, it wasn't about he hates her and she has to win his heart, or she hates him and he has to win her. It wasn't that, because they both thought each other were ugly, and it was an arranged marriage, so it was a very political marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But all the animosity and issues they had to face together was coming from the outside of their relationship. And you mentioned Mary Sue. Someone in the forums called the lead guy Gary Sue.
It's supposed to be Marty Stew.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think it's a Gary Sue. Anyway, I did like the characters. I like the premise of it. I when we get into more character development discussion, I'll talk about how I didn't and did like certain characters. But I liked the fact that they started as a friendship and then grew into something. And it took a long time for them to have, like, to get to the sex part, but I kind of feel like it was almost more realistic that way, as opposed to some of the other books we've read where people fall in love and they instantly just have sex, like, all the time. And it's like, I don't think that's usually how it would work in a romance in that time. I mean, I know this is a fantasy novel and these creatures don't really exist, but it was interesting. And it was also interesting that they both thought each other were ugly. A lot. Like, that was in every single page for chapters. But it was good to know that they weren't, like, immediately attracted to each other, which usually happens in romance books. So it was a good read, and it was a fast read, which was great. Mm-hmm. So I read it all in one day. It was super quick. So I really liked it. I thought it was a fun, light read. And I actually want to read the sequel when it comes out. So
it comes out, like, February 1st, so it comes out next week.
Wow.
I want to read it too, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with all of you. I read some of the feedback on the forum, and people really liked it. It's great that their love grew from friendship and not physical attraction, and some people was like everything came easily to them. And, you know, as I'm reading the book, as a writer, I'm like, this shouldn't work. Like, there's no conflict, really. They like each other immediately and keep liking each other. There's exterior conflict, but not really, and they're actually talking very contemporary to each other in a fantasy setting. And, like, intellectually, I'm like, why is this working so well? And I think it kind of is a testament to the writer, and she really is a good writer, and you just like her characters. And so I really enjoyed it. I agree with you. It was a really fast read, and I love the idea that we could just have a book that's not so formulaic, because you expect, oh, they're going to get broken up by this person or this, and it avoided all those cliches, and that's what I think it was refreshing in a way.
Yeah, I even thought the other human that lives in his neighborhood.
Yes, Sandok or somebody said, yeah.
Sand or something.
Sandus.
Even that whole thing, you're like, oh, it's going to start where he tries to steal her away from him because she's a human, and maybe she'll get torn by that and be confused. And it was like, no, that whole thing just, like, went away. Like, he was kind of, like, pissed off about it at first. And then she was like, no, I mean, he's okay, I guess. Yeah, he's handsome, but whatever. Who cares? Who gives a crap? And then it just kind of wasn't a thing. And then he ended up saving the day at the end and, you know, being a good friend to both of them, which I thought was like, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, he was so nice. It's so lucky that he was there in that moment. You know, like,
I know, it's like you just
all the improbable stuff happens, and I was just like, oh, good. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
but it wasn't boring, because it's like all the things you expect are going to happen don't happen that are bad, and yet you're not bored. I don't know. I wasn't bored. I was like, oh, good. They're just getting along. I like this.
Yeah, totally expecting somebody to, like, betray somebody, and it just, that never happened. And yeah, exactly. I still wasn't bored. It was still fun to read.
Only the predictable evil mother-in-law was the one who was actually doing anything bad, and guess what? You really screwed up that situation because now you're dead, and also you've unleashed a horrible evil upon the land.
I know, I loved that. I read it and I was like, oh, is she going to get, like, superpowers and just mess with them for the whole next book? No.
Right.
She's like, nope, she's gone. And I was like, great, this is awesome.
This is awesome because what about that creepy thing she said to him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
About
Whoa,
wanting him
that
to
was
be
weird.
Like, I wish you, if you were my son, you could be
My consort. Consort.
Basically, she said, if you
I'd
weren't my
do
son,
you.
I'd sex you. And I'm like, what?
Well, even he was like, whoa, that is like way out of line even for you, crazy lady. Like, that was not cool.
That reminded me of that Edward what was that movie?
Dennis.
Julianne Moore and Eddie Remain or whatever, where it was based on a true story about a guy who was in a super rich family and his mom was so controlling that there was...
Oh, they lived in, like, the south of France or something?
Yeah, it's called Grace or Lost Grace or something.
Yeah.
The chat room knows what I'm talking about, but I got that vibe when she said that in the book. I'm like, that's just not good parenting. That's just bad. Like, that's something a stepmother would say, not a mother.
Yeah, and maybe like there was no sign of that anywhere else in the book until she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna touch your arm. Hey,
Yeah.
too bad you came out of my womb."
Here's your eyeball. I want to have sex with you.
Oh, yeah, she gives him his eyeball. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's not how you flirt. That's not how...
No, it's bad flirting.
The worst
Mom.
game ever.
If you're gonna have inappropriate sex with your son, don't give him the eyeball first.
Don't give him the hairy eyeball.
Literally.
There was a funny comment from Nick on the forum. The description of the food in this book made me never want to eat potatoes again.
I loved that. I loved how she just totally busted his balls about potatoes. It was amazing.
Potatoes and her eyeballs, just both of them
I
constantly.
have a question for you guys. Do you think potatoes was the right vegetable to use? Because I don't feel like potatoes are that horrifying looking. Like if it was that fractal broccoli, maybe.
Brussels sprouts.
No.
I was thinking this should be Brussels sprouts because I hate Brussels sprouts.
No, you just haven't had them prepared correctly. Come to my house and I'll make you Brussels sprouts. I'm very passionate about this cause.
No, I
Jesus
agree with
Christ.
you.
Okay, Veronica.
I agree with Veronica. You roast them with balsamic vinegar and olive oil and salt and pepper.
Yes!
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't be
Okay.
upset, Felicia. I actually only eat Brussels sprouts when they're Brussels sprout chips.
All right, well, I'm on board with okra, because F that S.
Yeah.
Gross.
I feel like
Okra's disgusting.
Oh, I love okra.
but
I'm
there's
not kidding. I love
But
it.
you're from the south.
That's true.
Vegetables. Like potatoes are so boring looking.
They're benign. They're a little benign.
Unless they accidentally sprout because you forgot about the one potato in your cupboard and it just takes on a life of its own, looks like a little mandrake or something.
Yeah.
But I was just like, first of all, I was confused in the book about this because they're not from separate planets. They're on the same freaking planet. They exist next to each other. So
But I think the Kai are not human.
well, one's human, one's non-human, but you would think before they got this arranged marriage, maybe they would get a little tutorial, like, so you're married.
Well, I mean, come on. If from an evolutionary standpoint, they are two basically like apex predators at the top of the food chain in the same region at the same time, having developed for thousands of years together. You would think that their cuisine, especially based on location, would be at least somewhat similar. They both eat meat and vegetables. The same kind of things should be available to them.
Yeah,
it's not like if I go to Mexico, I can't stand the taste of anything there, you know? Like,
It's also like when you go to
or
Mexico
Canada,
and you see a tamale, you're not like, what's this alien creature?
horrified.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was just strange to me. And also, didn't the Kai race used to eat humans? So it would be kind of like if a human got married to a potato. Okay, maybe that's not a good analogy, but first of all, I would never marry an alien that are from a race that used to eat humans. It's like marrying an Ewok. I feel like that would turn out bad.
Did Ewoks eat humans?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God, I forgot. Ew.
That's why they run this.
Yeah, they put Han Solo on that stick over the fire.
Yeah, I remember. They were gonna. Oh man, as a kid I loved them. I thought they were teddy bears, but that's
Well,
silly.
they are.
I
They
still
look
love
like
them.
kids. I mean, they had a full-grown woman's dress ready for Leia to wear. Like, where did that human woman go?
Okay, so people in the chat room are saying, "Oh, well, don't forget the Kai ate people," and then Shayla says a human gets married to a shark. Okay, I get that, but we still all like fish.
Yeah.
You know, like I still am not
got that in
disgusted by
common.
the idea of raw fish. Like I will also eat that thing. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make a difference that the shark would still eat me.
Yeah.
But
Can
if
we-
there, you know, if you go to Japan, there's some. I mean, like eating fish that are alive. Like there's some things that are obviously like haute cuisine, but are
Yeah.
unusual enough. You're like, what the?
Okay, let's back up. The pie with the centipede thing.
Yes, let's talk about the scorpion pie that you have to kill, and yet it's still alive.
They made
Yeah.
the pie feel so good. Like, they made it like it's all crispy, and it's like the crust is golden, and it's so appetizing.
The
And then-
scalpatine. It's called a scalpatine.
Scalpatine pot pie.
and it's like a live creature you have to stab to death. And it was just like, that's not my kind of like cherry pie. I don't want a pie to still be alive when I'm
But
about
that's
to
the
eat.
question. No, it ruined pie for me. One. B, did they cook the
Ruined pie for
scalpatine
you.
inside the pie, but then he survived because he's like, I'm going to be warm but still alive? Or was it a raw, like, sashimi situation in a pie?
He was alive because that was the whole point of the
You
pie.
have to
Was
kill it.
stab
No,
it.
I know, but maybe he was some kind of animal that you could heat up to 300.
That's what I think. I think they booked or whatever. They
You
baked
bake
him.
it.
They baked him in the pie. You know, like 4 and 20 blackbirds. That's like I feel like they did. They baked him inside the pie, and he was so badass that.
And don't you think that having him in there would like ruin if he jumps out and tries to escape? Like that ruins the pie. Like just
Yeah.
find a different serving method. Like there's got to be other ways of eating that animal.
And maybe it ruins the party a little.
Also,
Mess.
pies are different in different time periods. So, like, you know, if you look back into, I don't even know what era it would be, but they used to do pies where you don't eat the crust. The crust is like something you reuse over and over and over, and like it's like a hard
Yes.
dough.
Supersizers. Have you ever seen that show on Hulu?
Show.
It's a hilarious show where these two comedians basically live in one era and they eat only food from that era for a week, and all of them always get gout by the end of the week. It's
Yeah.
so funny, guys.
It's really good. It's on Hulu, and it's Giles
What's it called?
Corin. It's called Supersizers.
Okay.
It's really funny.
It's Giles Corin, who's a food critic in England and also an actor, and Sue Perkins, who's one of the co-hosts on the Great British Bake Off. And
Oh.
they do it so well. The 1970s episode's my favorite because all they do is drink the worst cocktails ever and eat dinner. And
Well, they're drunk the whole time because every era, especially like the olden times era, nobody
Yeah.
drank water because it wasn't
Yeah,
safe,
it's
so they just
filthy.
were sauced the whole
Right.
time.
yeah. So I'm trying to envision the pie in the story as, is it like a pie that we know now, that we would eat now, or is it the kind of pie in olden times where they used it as a vessel to kill things in the pie? And then, like, you're right, was this thing supposed to be alive and kicking?
I don't think in olden times they killed the. Oh, you mean like bacteria, not like the chicken?
No, well, there would be like fish, like fish. Well, not fish. What am I thinking?
Like parsley. It's like parsley on a plate, and restaurants always reuse that, never eat it. And there's so much bacteria on orange slices and parsley and any kind of garnish. Don't eat it.
I always
Really?
eat the orange slices.
No.
Don't eat it.
How will I keep myself from getting scurvy?
Right?
Also, don't eat any fruit that's on the edge of a glass. That's like really disgusting.
I definitely do. Oh, because in those vats that just sit out all the time.
The thing with the cherries and that
I
wine.
had a pink grapefruit martini, and it had a little grapefruit on the side, and you telling me that was full of, like, disease?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're always sticking their fingers in there and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably true.
I don't know. So
I
anyway,
ruin everything.
in conclusion, I would not eat a pie with a live centipede scorpion in it. I feel like that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Well, they only baked the guys, and then the women. Remember, because the mother-in-law
Poisonous,
tried to
yeah.
kill her with a female one, which was
Yeah.
bigger and like not pie material.
Yeah, Felicia, what about pickles? What's the deal with pickles? Can I eat pickles? Dapper wants to know.
How about what kind of
Like
pickle?
pickles on the side of a plate, like pickles that they use as like oh, and here's a pickle.
Oh, I mean, I think as long as it's like if it's a cornichon on a cheese plate, that feels like it's put on fresh. But like a side pickle with like a burger, don't eat it.
Don't eat it? Really?
Because they always put it on a piece of lettuce that you know is old. I don't know. That's just me, guys. Look it up on the internet.
Oh, because the internet has been so helpful for me.
The internet's not going to tell us anything we want to hear.
Everyone's mad at me now. I'm sorry. I've ruined all fun.
Yeah, I feel like we should go ahead and Google diseased pickles and see what happens.
All right, moving on.
After a year of being pregnant, I hate the internet.
Oh boy, welcome to the club. Okay, so let's move on. What did you guys? Okay, let's just kind of loosely go through our talking points. What did you guys think of the world building in the world? Were you convinced? Did you want more? Was it believable?
I go ahead, Veronica.
Oh, no, I think I kind of made my point with the food diversion. I found that to be a little bit unrealistic. But otherwise, I didn't have any problems with the world building. I thought it could have been, I'd like to hear more about the Kai backstory, and why, where they came from and why they are so different from humans and why they're able to still use magic. And gosh, that really sucks at how much magic they lose every generation. That seems like a pretty big deal to them. Kind of would.
I mean, how much would it cost if you were learning magic and the best you could muster was like lighting a cigarette or something, but like 5 generations before you could burn down a house just thinking about it. To me, I would be so pissed off.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, that you're like magic's super diluted to the point where it's just like a parlor trick. It's not really dangerous or, anything of.
Like he said 2 generations ago, his grandfather could have walked through the door, basically become immaterial and walked through the door, and now he can barely open the lock. That sucks.
Well,
it was weird because
oh my God, they're definitely going to get their magic back, aren't they? That's definitely going to happen.
That's the thing with the queen. I think that's what was happening.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: if his grandfather could walk through a wall, what could his great grandfather, when they were eating humans, do? Basically, cut the world open. I mean, that's a proportion. Or is it something recently that started the decline?
You know what I'm saying? Because they're not eating humans anymore, and if they start eating humans, they'll get their powers back.
Ew.
No, I'm just thinking that would be great in the second book, because then talk about having their love tested. Would you rather have superpowers, but you have to start eating people that are related to your significant other? You don't have to eat your significant other. You can eat bad humans.
Well, we already know. Well, I know because they said what's going to happen in the next book. So do we? It said in the back at the end, the epilogue. It says what's going to happen. Should I say it?
Yeah, I say it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Well, it's just that Brishan becomes the ruler of the land because
you know what I love about Google
everybody dies.
YouTube Live? It's so stupid because you can't ban people. Because I'm like, how do you ban somebody? Nope.
Don't
Won't
even pay
attention.
attention.
Don't feed the trolls. I don't even want to know what they're saying.
But I'm like, why have a live platform where you can't have moderation? It's like, hello, we should be on Twitch, but I don't know how we do that. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about let's just talk about the characters, guys, because we all just want to talk about Brishan and his penis, but let's just.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and their messy sex.
Okay, let's first talk about the humans and the dynamic and Ildiko. So, what do we think about her character?
I just think that the way you just said Ildiko makes me laugh.
Was that her name?
Because it sounds like a drug pit kingpin. Ildiko.
Ildiko Suave. I almost watched the audiobook just to hear what the actual names are pronounced. Someone on our Twitter said that the audiobook's very adorable because the narrator has a lisp. So, I don't know, I might try to find out. So, I liked her because she didn't let anything faze her. Here she got married to a dude she doesn't even know, who she thinks is ugly and he's all teeth and weird. And his mom is a total bitch. And instead of fighting back, like I would, like if I had married someone that had if I had a mother-in-law that was like a hell beast like that, I would be so bitchy right back. But she was very pragmatic and graceful, and just didn't let it get to her. And she was very zen about it. And I feel like instead of being like this usual character that we have been reading for so many books where they just lash out right back, it was interesting. And I guess a part of that too is she's married into this. She's a noble woman, so she's used to what it's like to be in a royal family where you have to put up with a bunch of horrible in-laws, and you just have to like know that they're full of crap and don't let it get to you. So I thought that was interesting, and I also thought it was interesting that she let other people do their job. Yeah. So she's not trained to be a warrior. There was no fight. There was no training montage of her turning from one type of person into a totally different person by the end of the book as far as skill set. So I just like that she was someone I could like totally believe in as a real person, as opposed to having to be, you know, this brand new warrior or something. Though I did find it that she adapted a little too well. Like there were some moments where I'm like, okay, you're taking this all very easily and mastering things easily, and maybe that's more of a Mary Sue kind of situation, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's what people say is like a Mary Sue, but you know, to me it's kind of refreshing to be like, hey, I wish I could be that cool.
Yeah.
Just almost wish fulfillment, like rolling with the punches. I don't know, Veronica.
I feel like for the period that it's set in, or the world that it's set in, I think there has to be kind of some understanding of this is the situation you're being put into. Like you're going to be married off to a person. This is the way things are. This is the way things have always kind of been. So I think she's kind of going into this marriage with that mindset that this has always been what she was going to do. There was never really any argument about it. So she's not going into it being like, I need to find a better life for myself. She's like, I have to make the best of what I'm being given, and this is what I'm being given. Thank God we actually like each other as people. Like, woo, good for you. Yeah, she says that basically, like in the book. But she's very practical, and I think that's kind of what I appreciated about her, is that, yeah, sometimes she got pretty bummed out. She got kind of homesick. She missed the sun. She missed the food. She had a really good time when she went to a party with other humans because she got to act like a human again and talk about human stuff and not worry about gray penises or, like, weird food for a little while. So it was, you know, I related to that, like, I'm kind of that kind of person that being put into a situation will make the best of it and kind of, you know, keep on a cheerful face. So I related to that. But so I didn't think it was too weird. I don't think she learned anything too crazy. She learned how to manage a household, which is what women like her are supposed to know how to do. And she learned how to make the best of a kind of shitty situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was refreshing that they were able to sort of adjust to each other in a way where they went from being repulsed, but I just like the idea that they were connected outside of any kind of appearance. Their souls were connected, and even though people are like, this intellectually this isn't going to work, they made it work, and they grew to see the beauty in each other, which I think was kind of a sweet message. Even though, because did anybody read the last the Gan book? What was it called? The Last Hour of Gan, which is like the most traumatic, rapey, very well written book, but it's about a woman who kind of lands on a lizard planet and she falls in love with a guy, but she's taken advantage of by a lot of lizard people, and it's kind of like famous on the net for being really, really well written, but the content is really traumatic, to be honest with you. I would all the warnings, but that was really a sweet journey as well, but this one had none of the raping. I mean, it's just...
This was the most non-rapey book we've read so far, I think.
Yeah.
It's true.
Basically, yeah.
They take forever to get to the sex, and I want to say this book may be the #1 book I've ever read in this group that has so much spooning. Like spooning. You know what I'm saying? Like
all snuggles.
There's all snuggles. It was all snuggles. Eventually it gets to the sex, and when it gets to the sex, it's great. But it just, you know, they were friends first, which I think a lot of realistic relationships, that's how that happens. Mm-hmm. It's not insta-love. It's not, this, you know, battle forced us together. It was, you know, they had to be married due to, you know, obligation, but they became friends first, and then it evolved into something. But there's a lot of snuggling in the book. There's a lot of cuddles.
Which I like because, once again, not to turn it into all pregnancy all the time, but just so you know, when you're pregnant, you do not want to be touched in any possible way. You just like, do not touch me. Do not touch me with your feet. Just get away. I cannot get comfortable. Don't touch me. And so I have been able to snuggle and swoon again. And so I really appreciated that part. I did. I read it and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I get to do that too.
You know what I pictured him looking like? I pictured him looking like Garrus.
Okay, well, let's get into that because I was about to read some comments. Okay, Brishan, because let's just get into it, okay? Brishan, Crystal, my only problem was I kept seeing Brishan as some kind of toothy alien basilisk type. I couldn't get Tiffany. I couldn't get out of my head that Brishan was Anubis, the jack-headed god. I kept seeing Wraith from Stargate Atlantis whenever Kai was described. The dragon basilisk waist thing weirded me out a lot. I pictured him as a dark elf with pointy teeth myself. So we had a lot, and I gotta tell you guys, for some reason I figured like a Thane, but not a hot Thane. Like I don't know, the pointy teeth and the.
The cover doesn't look like what he described as.
No, I know, not at all. Like he looked like
No.
a straight up human in that
He just
picture.
he looks like a gray Chris
A
Helmsley.
gray human, yeah.
A drow.
Thor. Like, that's all he looks like is
Oh,
gray.
you nerd, you goddamn nerd.
Yeah, what's a
Felicia.
drow?
Oh,
Is that
you
from
know what a drow
Warcraft?
is.
Is that from
Shut up.
Warcraft?
No,
You know.
whatever, nerd.
What is
Night
that
elf.
from? He's a high elf. Okay.
Description, I thought it sounded like Bosk from Star Wars, the lizard, like, even though he's not supposed to be lizardy, I was picturing, because a lot of pointy teeth and gray skin, I'm trying to figure, it's hard to figure this out, right? Because
No, I couldn't get into it. I was picturing this. I was trying to picture the sex scene. I was like, oh, this is. Is there a plate there? Oh, his teeth. And like, I mean, he went downtown on her, and I was like, no.
I know. That's terrifying. I'm terrified.
Just trust me, you trust me, right? Trust me.
And can you
Trust
imagine
me.
just laying there like this?
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like if you have sex with when you're a teenager and you have sex with someone with braces, you got to be a little careful of that situation.
He's
Because all
got razor
I've
teeth.
never done that, but oh yeah.
the wire works and braces, there's certain things you don't want to catch, if you know what I'm talking about. So
Syphilis? Is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
I remember.
I feel like with this, it's like, yeah, when he decided to go down, I'm like, no, because it just seems like that you do not want pointy teeth down there. That's like reverse vagina dentata. It's like so weird. All teeth, like, no. And then also, the fact that she had sex with him without seeing the penis first, that's trusting, because you don't know what's down there.
Well,
We
I
had
mean,
a
they
couple
weren't
of
really
comments.
supposed to even probably be having sex because they can't procreate and, like, the consummation thing. Like, they never really expected to be sleeping together. So she didn't really care what his wiener looked like.
Well, let me read a couple of comments. Cheryl from the forum said, I thought he was going to have some crazy genitalia, like a penis tentacle or something. But then they stopped talking about it, so I guess it was just a regular mammal schlong. Amy says, I feel any sane woman would want to examine a non-human penis before letting it enter her body. That's a sentence I would never have predicted I'd say.
Yes, thank you. I feel like I feel like you would be a little more cautious, because you don't know if it's like some weird barbed penis like cats have. You don't know.
Or dogs, yeah.
Or like a corkscrew situation, or if it's got multiple.
And a very important question, Shayla says, what if his semen was acid? We don't know. We don't know what his semen is like. It could be acid. Nobody knows.
That is a great question. I feel
That would be like the worst urinary tract infection ever.
there's not any amount of cranberries is going to fix that.
No.
No, I kept thinking about the barbed like dildo in Crucial's Dart. Not Crucial's Dart, but one of the Crucial series. Where
I kept thinking about barbed penises also.
Yeah.
I was thinking
So,
barbed, and
we're
I
on
was
the
like,
same page.
I mean, there's so many different ways this could have gone, but the fact that she didn't, like, subtly, like, why didn't she watch him when he peed or something? Like, I feel like there's so many opportunities she could have, like, seen it, But also, he lives in the freaking dark, so I'm shocked she saw anything, because they're in the dark the whole time. By the way, how did she get around the castle without, like the house, without bumping into everything, because they're always in the dark?
They had candles. They talked about the candles.
Yeah, and she saw him in the sunlight before they did it.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Being naked.
Yeah, no, he was totally naked. He was like, I'm sorry I got into bed with you. So
he was sleeping.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could be like a grower, not a shower, you know, like so, you know, like you wouldn't know what was.
Out comes the barb.
Yeah. So I guess you wouldn't really know.
Oh, God. I'm just horrified that someone poured acid semen. I didn't even think of that.
Somebody thought of it.
I feel like there should be a branch of Planned Parenthood that tells us all these things.
Like a pamphlet.
Yeah, this book definitely needed pamphlets.
Yeah, but
She needed all the pamphlets.
yeah, I feel like eventually we are going to have to deal with alien sex at some point, so they should get ready for that. I feel like if Planned Parenthood needs someone to write all those pamphlets, I am available.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have some questions from the forum. Would you have sex with a man who ruined your bedspread every time? What is his bed sheet budget? Is he patching them?
Do they have servants that repaired all the sheets?
Yeah, they must have.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Family, you have servants fix that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'd be really mad, because sheets are really expensive. I mean, that's a racket, because sheets are super
But
expensive.
what kind of thread count are we talking? Like this, I don't know. I feel, is it like one of those things like where Camelot, where they just sleep on the floor on bear rugs and stuff? Or Game of Thrones, there's not a lot of sheets?
Well, but also they didn't have machines. They had to hand weave that stuff. Like, oh, they must have done it again.
Maybe that's part of the magic they still have. They can make
Yeah, but if it lessens each time, that means they have to work with like polyester at that point.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I
nobody wants that.
If you're gonna rip the sheets like that, then maybe you should, I don't know, have sex in a hot tub first and then go to bed. Like, you don't have to have sex in the bed. They can have sex anywhere. Just have sex on things you don't mind ruining and then go to bed.
Or like maybe there's an IKEA right there, like an IKEA. Is what
No.
No. I'm not gonna apologize for that. I'm not.
Okay, my another question. Do you think? Oh, this is a good one. My question is: the book lacked a dramatic moment in which the characters had to prove their love and willingness to overcome obstacles. Although I don't think that's true because the very end sequence, she had to overcome obstacles to save him. But if you were given another moment, what would that be?
Wait, what?
Are we saying a moment from the book or in our own minds?
Another moment. I guess Ariel's asking if you had another moment. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to probably do that in book 2 a lot. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would have liked more magic and more insects.
They're definitely, as someone in the chat room said, going to have a magic baby, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
those
what
totally
Ariel said, yeah.
baby for sure.
I think everyone reading this book knows that because they kept bringing up well, we don't know if we can have babies or not, means you're going to have a baby. I mean, that's like, I'm just surprised they didn't end with, and she's pregnant.
Right. But, you know, the thing for me is that if they've lived together next to each other for so long and they have the same genitalia that's compatible with each other, like, why is it such a foreign thing that people would have relations? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's like weird prejudice to that point, and the only reason that they're having sex together is because they're trying to keep these two factions from having a war. Like, they want it to be, I don't know. It did seem to me, because I feel like for the forbidden is something that's what, like, they must have prostitutes. They must have, like...
They do. They talked about them.
Yeah. So it's like, that can't be too weird of a thing that they would... But maybe they can't procreate without magic, so maybe it's one of those things that the more magical your background is, the more chances you have of actually magically having a magic baby from your magic sex.
They can have babies with each other. They just can't have babies with outside of their species,
No,
right?
that's what I mean.
Like,
No, I think they're going to have a baby together.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, but they find each other repugnant. So, I mean, you know, it would be like, why would I have sex with somebody I think is totally
Yeah,
gross?
maybe the only reason they're having sex is because they've actually been forced to hang out with each other that long together.
Maybe that's how the magic comes back.
Yeah. the magic in the bedroom. You know what I mean?
Not to bring up the baby thing, but don't they kill a baby in this book?
The
Yeah,
Skemmis
it's-
killed
the
your
sister?
sister.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a
that happened in the
clubfoot baby,
past, but yeah.
right? With a clubfoot or something?
Yeah.
She broke its little neck.
Awesome.
I didn't mean
Awesome.
to bring it up.
Mom of the year.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Yeah.
I know.
Hate that bitch.
Let's see. If you could choose to be a human or a Kai, which would you rather be? Amber asks.
Magic, I want magic, duh. Definitely Kai.
Even with the teeth?
Even the
Even-
eyes?
Yeah.
With the eyes and the teeth.
Honestly,
sure.
I had braces all throughout high school, and my teeth are still screwed up, so I don't care about how bad teeth are. If I get magic, I'm down with. I don't care. I'll take whacked out H.P. Lovecraft teeth anytime.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather be a gori, whatever it is.
Yeah, gory. A gory.
Basically,
I'd
yeah.
rather be a gori.
Gowry. Gowry.
Gowry.
Gowry.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, but the other humans who are attacking them, they're really dumb because now you have two nations against you. Like their strategy was terrible.
Yeah.
That race kind of sounds like what my dog sounds like when she's horking something up. Gory, 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 gory.
Yeah.
Here, do you kind of feel like Kyla's cat is silently judging all of us?
Oh, he is. Don't worry.
Okay.
He's pretty smug, your cat. Your cat is really smug, Kyla.
I'm sorry, he is, and he has reason to be. He's got a scholarship to Oxford. He's a Rhodes Scholar.
Like your cat read the book when you were asleep, and the cat's like, "That's not how I would discuss the book."
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's like, you guys are missing all of the important points.
Did you guys even read this book? I mean, really?
The salient points is what he just said.
So, and I think the weirdest part, just to leave this, was when he literally got his fingernails ripped out. That was the best sex that they had.
Yeah, he got declawed. So
He got
basically,
declawed.
after he's been declawed, he can actually have decent sex. Like
He
there's a-
should keep getting declawed.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And maybe his other eye should come out.
I was like,
And they should get new eyes.
sex must be better without the eye.
Oh, maybe they'll give him like a human eye so he can look halfway human and she'll truly love him.
Right?
I don't know. Would it be like having sex with Columbo? Or would it? Or
I haven't drank wine in a while.
You're just a pirate.
what
Been
was
a
the
while.
character in Harry Potter that had the wandering eye? Moody, right?
Moody, Mad Eye Moody.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My kid does that sometimes. Oh, God, that sounds weird. Oh, I don't know.
Kid is Mad-Eye Moody?
No, my kid has like sometimes he's like trying to look at you and he gets like the cross eye and then one eye over here. And I'm like, oh my God, he's stuck that way. So, anyways, it's weird to talk about it all. Like I have a kid.
I know the fact that you just said,
Okay.
my kid. I'm so like, it's so
weird.
Oh.
It's weird, right?
It's weird,
Yeah.
but it's cool. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't know. My Facebook feed looks like a baby catalog half the time because it's just everyone posting pictures of their baby. So
It's true. Everybody in my timeline is either pregnant or just had a baby.
Yeah,
So
me
I guess
too.
it's a generational thing, guys.
yeah.
It's easy. Well, also we all obviously had sex during March Madness or whatever. I don't know.
Definitely,
celebrate.
it's definitely that. That's
Yes,
definitely
because
what it is.
that's super hot.
All right. Well, let's wrap
Anyway.
it up by doing some casting, guys. Does anybody have any casting ideas?
Well, you obviously.
Yeah.
That's just because I looked like the cover, guys.
You
Yeah.
look just like the cover, though. I can't stop thinking about it.
It's true.
You.
But it does also look like a little bit like Emma Stone. She looks like Emma Stone, too.
I feel like it's either you or Molly Quinn, but Molly Quinn's so young. I don't want to picture. I don't want to think of. I think of her as like a little sister, so I don't want to think of her having weird alien sex. But I'm okay with thinking you're having it.
No, thanks. That's really sweet. Thanks.
Hey, at least you'll thank me when I tell you that I would cast the alien dude as Tom Hiddleston with a lot of teeth.
Yeah, and or Garrus. I still think Garrus with bigger eyeballs. And you love him, so that would be perfect for you guys.
See?
Yeah.
We're going to match you up with someone worth having sex with. Don't worry.
I would if it was Thane, I'd think twice.
I know you do love Thane. Thane's
I'm
pretty
not
good.
I'm not a Garrus lover. Like it was too much happening.
But it's got it's just replace the little danglers with some teeth, and then you've got
Yeah.
we had a lot of suggestions of Stephen Amell for Brishan.
I don't know who that is.
Stephen Amell.
Who is
Yeah, the Arrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that guy. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got sick of all the comic book shows. I stopped.
I know, me too. I'm tired of all superheroes. I just
Jessica Jones was good.
Oh, I love Jessica Jones.
I didn't count Jessica Jones as a superhero movie. I thought of it more like a drinking tutorial.
Mm.
So, and I love her. Like, she was great, but it didn't seem very... There wasn't costumes. You know, it wasn't a superhero... It wasn't like Supergirl, where she's constantly in her costume flying around. It felt more realistic, and also had David Tennant. So it just didn't really feel like...
So good.
Well, she also, like, she's supposed to have a costume, but she totally, like, was like, nope, not going to wear that.
No, her character had a costume when she was a superhero, but that show was not about that time. It was when she retired as a superhero.
Right.
Her costume was like what we wear, like just dark clothes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I have superhero fatigue, too. I'm just glad X-Files is on, so I have something new to watch that's also old.
There's so much good stuff on right now. The Magicians is amazing. The Expanse is amazing.
Did you get to watch Lucifer? I didn't get to.
Lucifer, I'm going to watch.
I passed out last night, so I've missed the second X-Files, and I missed Lucifer as well.
Well, X-Files is online, so you can watch. You could either watch X-Files on Hulu or Fox online, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I have cable.
But
I missed it because of the stupid football, so...
Oh, God, the footballs made me so mad.
Everything on Sci-Fi is online, too. So it's like...
Sci-Fi is crushing it right now.
Oh, my God. The Expanse?
So good. So good.
It's really good. So I feel like we're definitely lucky to live in a time that has decent television. So, and you don't always have to watch superhero stuff. There's other... great shows on, but yeah, I'm right with you. I'm sort of having superhero fatigue.
Yeah, burnout.
It's a little bit too much.
I'll get over it in November when Doctor Strange.
Really? Well, Doctor Strange. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
Okay.
Oh my
Well, I
God.
guess we can wrap it up, you guys. Next month is Bonnie's Choice, and we have a really fun book called Cupcakes, Trinkets, and Other Deadly Magic.
Ooh.
It's a first in a series. Got some werewolf action and cupcakes, evidently. I don't know.
My two favorite things: werewolves and cupcakes.
It sounds like a sexier version of the Parasol Protectorate, or like, which is pretty sexy.
It is.
By the
Or
way,
finishing school.
Speaking of the Parasol Protectorate, I do want to do a little shout out. If you're on Twitter, Gail's on Twitter, the author of those books, and her Twitter account is so informative. Like, she has so many, like, links to Victorian corset wearing and tea etiquette and all this other stuff that, and Delilah Dawson's also on Twitter. Hilarious. And she gives great writing tips if you are a budding writer as well. So just keep in mind, and the author of this book that we reviewed is also on Twitter. So keep in mind a lot of the authors that we cover have very amusing Twitter accounts and like it when we say, hey, I just read your book, it's awesome.
It's true. And I guess, okay, so we'll be here back at the last Tuesday of the month next month. And that is the 23rd.
It's February, so it's a short month, yeah.
It is. Hopefully the book is not too hefty, so we'll all get through it. And make sure to go to goodreads.com/vaginalfantasy to join the forums. Guys, we're going to try to take a break from doing alt books from now on, just because we want to focus on one book a month. And we all are on the same page. But if you have another book you want to read, feel free to post about it in the forum topic for the month and get other people on board. We love to empower the community to do their thing and be able to read along with each other. So we're going to try that for a while and maybe add the alt back. But Marie Kondo, simplify.
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 All right, you guys. Well, I guess we'll see you next month. Any last words, guys? All right.
No, bye.
Bye, everybody.